Good morning, and it's March 21st, Monday, and I'm Robert Edward Booth of 3oaks1.com. That's 3oaks spelled out numeral 1.com. You can go there for a lot of enlightening facts about organized religion, especially the Christianity, since I attended it for 20-some years, but the more I learned, the less I liked what I was being involved with, and I pointed out a lot of the Gnostic views, things that they don't tell you at the church. They're at 3oaks1.com. Please go there and get a lot of enlightening facts. You know, I made some podcasts and I made some YouTube stuff. I wish you'd go to my YouTube. Robert Booth, I think, is the only name that attaches to my YouTube. But if you'll go there, you'll find the posts I'm talking about, the videos. And I had said, you know, Vladimir Putin didn't go to war unrightfully. My main and key point was, what if it was you? You know, to empathize and put the shoe of another person on and feel what another person feels is something very valuable to me. I'm a super empath. I've seen the Thunderbird like 5 times. I don't know, 4 or 5 times in a vision here since I've been at the Lake of the Ozark. But I failed to find a medicine man who would do the ceremony. And Hayoka, were in the Mediterranean area as well as in the Native Americans. And there's a sacred clown and a holy man. So an empath, it's a super empath, above ordinary empath. And there's a certain amount of power that comes with that empath. I'm not sure of the depth of it. I watch things about being an empath. But to be able to feel what another person feels, and I do it on a level of psychic awareness quite often, as opposed to being able to put myself in your shoes. I actually feel you and reflect what I'm feeling from you, you know, coming out of me quite often, if I'll just go with the flow and stuff. So what if it was you? What if the shoes was on the other foot? What if you had a territory that you had established your reign over that territory, and this was going on, a Declaration of Independence, and an attack had actually went on down in Donbass against your military forces that went there in a proposed humanitarian / military action. You can do that. Now, a lot of times there's a fight or something at school when you was young or anywhere, and you just have backup. Well, they went there, and as going there would have, you don't go there without military support for that type of event. So just like bringing a bunch of football players or anybody to your side to make sure nobody takes us. Why don't you? Well, what happened in Donbass in 2014, 2015, Ukrainians took military action against the Russians who were there, just like the football players or somebody, you know, the brawny ones showed up to defend. You know, really they were the minority in Donbass, the Russian-speaking people that were there during basically the whole entire Donbass trying to become independent. So they went there for the relative minority, and Ukraine took a swing on them, and being the first act of war involved, what if you were Vladimir Putin? And I defended that. Well, the reason I'm having this little talk is because I had a vision. I had a vision. You know how you get blackballed? You're familiar with the term blackballed, right? You're getting blackballed, right? I saw the likeness of a black ball, okay? Now, follow me. It was a conglomeration of human beings in a ball rolling towards me, right? You know, kind of like you see an art or something. The ball was as big as like the planet Earth. The whole world would probably be my translation if I looked at the whole world practically. In this vision, I don't know what part would indicate practically, but you can see the whole world is against Vladimir Putin, and I'm not. I don't like the war crimes, okay? The children hospitals and things like that, the art schools, no, that's a no-no. That's a no-no, and I'm against that. But, you know, the how he's doing it, I'm not all that happy about. But what he is doing in general, that's his territory. He should defend it. If it was your territory, we're not talking about a half acre. We're talking about the Ukrainian territory, computer chips, the gases and stuff they make, computer chips, and you're taking that. The world is taking it. So I saw this ball, a conglomerate of human beings coming rolling at me like a black ball might represent. So I thought, well, thank you, you know, divine consciousness, you might go. And I told you, I'm not associated with the today's Roman Christians, and that's what they should call it. Would you like to be a Roman Christian? That's what the church should have out there, because then you would be prompted to get past the fraud and the fact that they're giving you Christianity. It's not. It's Roman Christianity. I'm not part of that. So I'm really going to be standing up to the world. But you know what? I'm so glad I'm like my King, Jesus Christ. I'm so glad I'm like my King. So I shoot for what's right in this situation, all right? I'm shooting for what's right. For him to go take arms against what's going on is fine. But the war crimes, mark my words, is wrong. The children's hospitals and the art schools, that's wrong. But the whole world was coming at me, all right? Like a black ball. You've seen the picture of Jesus Christ holding the world on his shoulders. I don't mind either. I don't mind being like my King. So this, follow me here. This conglomeration of human bodies rolling, you know, rolling towards me, but was sticking out of that, right? Arms and hands, perhaps legs, flopping. I'm sure if I blink and close my eyes and flopping, you know what I'm saying? Legs and arms hanging off this big world conglomeration of human beings rolling towards me. And what impression I was given is like blackballed, right? It's like being blackballed. The whole world is against you, right? On this. It's so distorted by the media. Look, Yemen, I posted on 3oaksnumeral1.com. The reason I say numeral one, spell it out, 3oaksnumeral1.com. I posted about Yemen, the Saudi Arabia place that's having a very similar humanitarian issue, but we're not there. The rest of the world ain't being rallied. It's called rallying them. Ain't being rallied up to go help Yemen because it's not vital to the United States' defenses and political actions regarding the well-being of the United States. I'm not against the United States. I live here. I have all my life. But I don't like unrighteous behavior. And to deceive the commoners and the people that don't have time to really look at everything and say that this is a humanitarian thing. It's not. Or we'd be in Yemen. We'd be delivering families there. So it's a political thing, all right? So the whole world was coming at me, and here's what I want you to make note of. My grandfather wasn't a very godly man at all, and I don't like to use the term G-O-D, and that's for the purpose of magic and understanding connections to certain deities and connections using names. Like in college, if you know the name of a god, you receive special power. It's because you connect. So I don't like to use the term God because Jehovah Adonai has made himself God, and that much more of the solidity in saying God goes to him because of the Christianity that 1/3 of the world is. So I don't like to use the term God. I'll use most sovereign one or divine consciousness or something, anything to get around that and not deceive and have you taken into Roman Christianity pretending that they're ever practicing Christianity. They're not. So my grandfather, mind you, would say, you can't have a bunch of flopping. I still hear him in my head today, like speaking to the dead might go on. You know, I still hear him saying, you know, it's kind of like having a whole bunch of tags hanging on strings. Listen to me. There's a whole bunch of tags hanging on strings. 1 through 10, you might make them. Numeral 1 through 10 hanging on strings, all right? Tacked on a board, all right? Just use your imagination. And you got 10 strings flopping in the wind. The wind has got them flopping, right? And you're supposed to take and put each one of them numbers to its correlating number, right? Pick up the 1, put it on the 1, pick up the 2, put on the 2, right? how much better and more simpler and straightforward would it be if the wind and all wasn't allowed to make those tags flop? You see what I'm saying? There's kind of a non-flapping rule when you humble yourself in your life, even in your overall life scenario, the situation in your life. When you got too much going on, when you got too many things, this going on, that going on, the next, it's like a bunch of stuff flopping, right? Right or wrong? It's like, that's out of control. Now I got to get over and handle this. By the time I get over and do that, that over there is going on. You see it? It's like a bunch of flopping tags 1 through 10, right? You can't have that. Not if you want to not tear yourself all to pieces in the condition of your spirit, right? The Bible says, I shall try to bless you according to the condition of your spirit. Don't have your mind, mental energy, which isn't all mind, I don't believe, because you have chakra energy channels throughout your body. And I don't think it's all just your mind, but you're channeling, the energy of the universe, that divine consciousness is flowing through you. So how that breaks down, you can't have this flopping going on in your life. You can't have so much going on that you can't ever be at peace. There's percents of your mind and your energy, slash energy, because it's your mind and your slash energy because of these chakras and these channels that flow through the divine consciousness, this energy you are. You can't have all that flopping going on. I got couple, 3 things I'm trying to do, all right? That's it. I try not to have more than I really need. Watch the humility. More than I really need. If I find need for it, I try to have it and maintain it. But at a point, you got to say, this is too much, and it becomes like that flopping in my life, all right? Now, back to the world coming at me. Remember I said the whole world was a conglomeration of human beings I saw in the vision rolling like a black ball towards me, right? The mind said, you're going to be blackballed, the world is going to be against you. But guess what? The world was a bunch of flops. Now, I'm going to stop right there. The world was a bunch of flops. If you pick up something, they make it more complicated. The internet. I used to enjoy it. Nowadays, I have to get off of it. It's kind of like going to the market and figuring out which trick, which gamed up, which tricked up is going on in this outfit that I got to make it through when I'm doing business there. I read somewhere that Jesus was of the Essenes and would go from the Essenes, and he would go and get what he needed and then back out of there and back to the peace that he had with the Essene people. Yeah, I don't know which scholar found it, but yeah, I get what I got to do done, internet included, because a bunch of flops. They don't got the sense to know you don't need all that going on. If you pick it up, the computer, the phone, flop. Everything is insane. It's like the wind blowing numbers 1 through 10 hanging from strings, and you got to somehow put number 1 to number 1 correlate, like Velcro, number 2 to number 2. You got to put it on there. The wind blowing and all these strings hanging down a flop. It's like that. So what I saw, and I'm going to share that with you. I'm a Plantagenet. I'm of the Merovingians of Merovie and the Frankish kings. But my family came through the Plantagenet. I got like 10, 15 kings in my bloodline. Quite a good handful of them are grandfather realm, all right? Kings. And the Merovingians are of the royal dragon blood. Pendragons and stuff like that. Lucifer bloodline. Mine is Grail bloodline / Jesus. Dragon blood / Jesus. Lucifer blood / Jesus. The royal Scythians. You can look that kind of stuff up. But what I saw coming at me was going to blackball me was a bunch of flops. Arms and legs hanging out of the planet going round and around my direction like, rolling towards me like a black ball. Flopping. Holy cow. What could be that meaning behind that, right? I'm not sweating the world's against me. Vladimir Putin was not wrong to defend his territory. What if that was you? Golden rule. According to the Bible, whether it's true or not, and it sounds like it, on that one at least, Roman Christianity, treat others like you would like to be treated. What if that was you? And they was taking your computer chip gases and stuff. That belongs to the Russian people and Poland. And you can't blame him if the first swing that went out in Donbass, look it up. It's on 3oaksnumeral1.com, but look it up in other places. The first swing came out of the Ukrainians on the Russians, who were there like your group of brawny friends or what have you, a power figure of some way, even if it's a crowd, were there to support you. The hoodlums or the ones resisting that wanted to be in an independent state place, like a state, Donbass, they wanted to have their own independence. And in there was Russian-speaking people and Russian ethnic group. Even if they were a minority, you can't blame Russia for being there and what they proclaimed a humanitarian/military action. Yeah, they went there just like the football team came to support you before these other reasonably big people were going to beat you up. They came and made sure you didn't get beat up. Guess what? Ukraine took a swing on them. Oh, yeah, took a swing on the ball team type thing. So that was the motherland that as far as any legitimacy had reign over that territory shared with Poland. All right, I've said enough. A bunch of flops coming at me. Get it together, folks. This enough of this craziness. I'm a Plantagenet. I'm a Merovingian of Merovy. I got like 15 kings, roughly. I haven't even counted, all right? 4 and 5 and 7 of them are actually grandfather bloodlines. See me. And I'm a Heyoka, super empath, holy man, sacred clown. I used to be Jesus. See me at 3oaksnumeral1.com. I'm 666, Robert Edward Booth. Hey, peace to you and peace profound.